welcome to another edition of A Chapter Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I am from ReverseThieves.com, as well as the Speakeasy podcast. And this time I'm looking at Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, Chapter 94, Shrimp! And that is shrimp as in a derogatory term for a short person, not as in well, if we're getting sushi, I don't feel like getting something expensive, so I'll just have shrimp. And we see that the two new student council vice presidents have been told that they are vice presidents and are getting, some experience under their belt. And the president gives all of the student council fancy new badges. He gets a gold badge. Yamada gets a silver badge. The two new vice presidents get red badges, and Nene and Tamaki get blue badges. And I feel like this is just kind of like a little throwaway scene. Everybody kind of remarks about how much they either like the badge or it doesn't go with their general fashion sense. But I got a feeling that those colors, definitely considering that at the end of the chapter we learn about the our two renegades who were left out have made a shogi club, considering there's a golden general and a silver general. I think that possibly these badges might tie into what comes next. Whether it's a shogi analogy or if it's something else, I'm not sure. But definitely I think that these badges are more than just, little things that they put on their lapels. Enough time was given to this, and just the fact that we don't know what's going to happen next, I think that these are significant. But what their significance is has yet to be seen. Because they have to do a big amount of paperwork on the student budget before they can go on the student council trip tomorrow, which is news to Yamada, who apparently was the only one who was not informed of this. And so it's definitely crunch time. And the work is split basically into team boys with Jin and Tamaki, and team girls with Midori and Nene. And we quickly see that they do not really work that well together. Nene and Midori kind of get on each other's nerves. Nene is a klutz, and Midori is a klutz, and Nene is kind of a control freak, and probably just a little bit jealous that any girl better looking than her, or at least more top heavy than her, is in the same student council as Yamada. And of course, we have to break into movie jokes because Midori has huge Thraxaland. And you're a klutzy girl because you're just so top heavy. And And so, of course, Nene has to be like, are these things real? And touch them and, the standard jokes. Although I did find it a little funny that Yamada's like, don't worry, Nene. You've got huge knockers too. And she's all like, you noticed. That's just a little bit bizarro. But it's an acceptable amount of Yamada-kun perviness. They are in a shonen magazine. I'm willing to put up with that. And apparently Jin and Tamaki aren't getting along any better. Jin just does not give a flying fig what Tamaki says. And Tamaki obviously has a certain amount of control issues, and the fact that Jin is so much taller than him and is willing to rub in the fact that Tamaki is kind of a short dude totally makes them not get along together and pretty much demoralizes Tamaki. And as we see, basically, basically the secretaries and the treasurer and the two vice presidents, they're supposed to do all their work. And then when they're done, give it to Yamada to basically fact check and copy. And so we kind of see him doing a little more of kind of being a peacekeeper, finally getting these two teams to work with their partners who they don't really get along with, and everybody kind of getting their work done on time. And once again, the president kind of staying out of it and just letting Yamada's natural abilities shine through, even though he's kind of a rough diamond. And then, when the long work comes, of course the president isn't going to help him. But he does mention that Sarashi, who was at cram school at the time, is kind of hiding in the hallway across from them. And she brings them some snacks and coffee from Star Socks, which I gotta say, usually in anime when they parody Starbucks, which is quite often, they usually keep the bucks and it's like moon bucks or something. I've not seen them keep the star and change the bucks. So Star Socks is definitely not what I usually expect from a chain in an anime or manga. And that is the silliest minor observation I have, but I felt like it was worth mentioning. And it does kind of make me wish I had snacks right now. But it's like a really moment that she checked in on them and saw they were still working and brought everybody snacks. Even though really only the president and Yamada there. But it was kind of like heartwarming. And she's like, "You were totally hot and awesome when I just saw you working hard." And he totally gets into his work. And the president's like, "Yeah, you're not hard to figure out. I can tell why you're into it now." But Yamada does notice that a new club is on the schedule in all the paperwork, which the president is like, "You finally noticed." And it seems that, yes, once again, our two little rogues, who were not pretty much the only one not happy, or at least not present for the big ceremony at the end and the congratulation party, they are forming the Shogi Club. And the president very clearly alludes to having some clue that those two are going to be doing something. So, now we know that the president knows that they're up to something. And it's very clear that this shogi metaphor is really important for what's coming. So, and the piece that dropped on the booklet last chapter, I looked that up after the chapter, and that was a gold general piece. And so, interesting that once again the gold comes up. I wonder if they're going to have kind of an opposition to the student council. Kind of like the student council will be 7, and then kind of the shogi club will be 7. I mean, that's just me going on a whim. Kind of like a council of good witches and wizards and a council of dark witches and wizards. That would be my prediction. Yeah. But we shall see what happens. But if that's the case, then we have 5 members, and I'm thinking Sarashi will be 6. I'm kind of curious who the 7th person, maybe the other girl from the Supernatural Club. She seems like a good mix to be, the last member of the new student council. But maybe we'll get another guy. Can balance it out a little bit. I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see who they draw in for this the shogi club, because I don't think it's going to be those 2 for long. But that's all speculation. I guess we'll just have to see what happens in the next chapter. But as always, I'll see you guys in next week.